We can also guarantee a high quality of life up until the very last breath. Do you know how many miserable people and how many miserable societies across the years would have given almost anything for that? And the method of administering the poison, she says, unflinching. It's unbelievably humane. Small doses in the patient's favorite food. So we eat to die? She dismisses my concern. Everyone eats to die. Regardless of what we do, your problem is that you don't respect the system and what it offers you, even now. This almost makes me want to laugh. The official sees the twist of my lip and latches into a list of examples of ways I've broken the society's rules in the past 2 months. But she doesn't even know the worst of them. But she doesn't cite a single example of all the years before. If she had a way to track all my memories, she would see they are pure. That I truly want to fit in and be matched and do everything the right way. That I truly believed. That part of me still believes. It was time for a little experiment to end anyways, the official says, sounding regretful. We don't have the manpower to focus on it anymore. And of course the situation begins what they are. What experiment? The one with you and Kai. I already know, I say. I know that you told him, and I know that it was a bigger mistake than you led on for me to believe, that the first time we spoke. Kai was actually in the matching pool. It was no mistake, she says, and I'm falling again. Just when I thought I had hit the bottom, we decide to put Kai in the matching pool, she says. Now and then we do that to an aberration, simply to gather additional data and watch the variation. The general public doesn't know about it. There's no reason they should. What's important for you to know is that we were in control of the experiment all along. But the odds of him matching with me are virtually impossible, the official agrees. So she can see why we were so intrigued. Why we let you see Kai's picture so that you would be curious. Why we made sure you were assigned to the same hiking group and then to the same pairs. Why we had to follow it through, at least for a time. She smiles. It is so intriguing. We could control so many variables. We could reduce your meal portions to see if that would make you more stressed, more likely to give up. But you didn't. Of course. Were never cruel. You always had sufficient calories. You're strong, and you never did take the green tablet. Why does that matter? It makes you more interesting, she says. More intriguing subject, in fact. Ultimately predictable, but still unusual enough to want to watch. It would have been interesting to see your situation play out if the final predicted outcome had happened. She sighs, a sigh of genuine sadness. I plan to write an article about it, available to only select officials, of course. It would have been an unparalleled proof at the validity of matching. That's why I didn't want you to lose your memory of what happened this morning on the AirTrain station. All my work would have been for nothing. Now at least I can see you make your final choice, while you still know what happened. Anger fills me, so full that there's no room for thought or speech. It would have been interesting to see it play out to the final predicted outcome. It was all planned from the start. Everything. Unfortunately, my skills are needed elsewhere now. She runs her hand along the data pod in front of her. We simply don't have time to monitor the situation anymore, so we can't extend it any longer. Why tell me all this? I ask. Why do you want me to know every last detail? She looks surprised. Because we care about you, Cassia. No more or less than we care about all our citizens. As the subject of the experiment, you have the right to know what happened. You have the right to make the choice we know you'll make now instead of waiting any longer. It's so funny to her to use the word choice so unintentionally. Hysterical that I would laugh if I didn't think it would come to sound like a cry. Did you tell Xander? She looks offended. Of course not. He's still your match. In order for the experiment to be controlled, he has to remain in the dark. He knows nothing about this, except what I told him, I think, and I realize that she doesn't know. There are things she doesn't know. With that realization, it is as though something has been given back to me. That knowledge drops into my anger and distills it something pure and clear. And one of these things she knows nothing about is love. Kai, however, was different, she says. We told him, we pretended we were warning him, but of course we were hoping to give him implements to try to be with you. And that worked as well, she smiles, smug, because she also thinks that I don't know about the past and his story, but of course I do. So, you watched us all that time? I say. Not all the time, she answers. We watched you enough to get an efficient sample of what your interactions were like. We couldn't watch all your interactions on the hill, for example, or even on the smaller hill. The officer Carter still had jurisdiction over the area. It did not look kindly to us being there. I wait for her to ask somehow. I know she will. Even though she thinks she has accurate sample, there are still parts that she wants to know more. So what happened between you and Kai, she asks. She doesn't know about the kiss. That was not what sent him away. The moment on the hill is still ours, mine and Kai's. Ours. No one has touched it but the two of us. This will be what I have to hold on to go forward. The kiss and the poem and the I love yous we wrote and said. If you tell me I can help you, I can recommend you for a work position in the city. You could stay here and you wouldn't have to leave for the farmlands with your family. She leans closer. Tell me what happened. I look away in spite of everything, and the offer is tempting. I'm a little afraid of leaving Oria. I don't want to leave Xander and Em. I don't want to leave the place that holds so many memories of grandfather. Or most of all, I don't want to leave the city and my burrow because they are where I found my love, Kai. But he's not here anymore. I have to find him somewhere else. The prisoner's dilemma. Somewhere in Kai keeps faith with me, but I can't do the same for him. I won't give up. No, I say clearly. I thought you'd say that, she tells me, but I hear the disappointment in her tone and suddenly I want to laugh. I want to ask her if it ever gets tedious being right all the time. But I think I know her answer would be. So what's your final predicted outcome, I ask. Does it matter? She smiles. It's what will happen, it's what you'll do, but I'll tell you if you like. I realize that I don't need to hear it. I don't need to hear anything she has to say, any predictions she has she thinks she can make. They do not know what Xander hid the artifact, that Kai can write, and that grandfather gave me poetry. What else doesn't she know? You said you planned it all along. I say suddenly, on instinct, acting as though I want to be certain. You telling me you put Kai into the matching pool yourself? Yes, she answers, we did. This time, I look right at her when she speaks, and that's when I see it. The faintest twitch of muscle in her jaw, a slight shift in her eye, a small ring of performance in the tone of her voice. She doesn't often have to lie. She's never been an aberration, so this doesn't come easily to her. This hasn't been much practice. She can't keep her face perfectly still for the way Kai does when he's playing games, and the way he knows what he has to do, whether it's better to win or lose. Although she's been told how to play, she doesn't know exactly which cards she's holding. She doesn't know who put Kai in the matching pool. If the officials didn't, who did? I look at her. She doesn't know, and she isn't listening to her own words. As if almost impossible happened before me being matched to two boys I already knew. And it happened again. I can find him. I stand up and leave. I think I smell rain in the air, even though there isn't a cloud in the sky. And I remember, I still have a piece of Kai's story left.